What up, what up? You already know it's your boy AB here for another video for y'all today. So, I have the gift of gab, and I'm a good storyteller, and I have some good stories as well. So, some I can say on camera, some I can't. But I got a good story to tell you guys about the motivation I want to explain to you guys behind it. As well. So I'm gonna give you 3 words. It's raise your standards, okay? So you're gonna raise your standards. That's the 3 words. So now the story is basically I was always scared of flying. I always didn't like flying. I always was like, I would fly, I would get on the airplane and stuff, but I'd be scared. I'd be like sweating, scared. I'd be grabbing on strangers and praying. Like, I prayed more at the airport than I did at church. So I was just always scared and stuff. And I knew, like, in order to get certain places I had to fly, so I was like, damn. So I didn't fly for a long time. Like, when I got old enough to make my own decisions and stuff and not have to fly anywhere, I just didn't fly for a long time, maybe like 7 years. I just didn't fly. And then I ran into a situation where I had to fly again. So I was like, all right, well, let's try this out. And then the job that I was like headed to required me to travel and fly, but I also knew that there was other ways of transportation, like bus and train. Like, I've taken a train cross country before from like New York to San Francisco and stuff. So I knew that there's other ways of transportation, but it is all about time. Excuse me. It is all about timing. So, excuse me, I'm drinking this Sprite. Burps, but basically, so I get on the airplane, or I get to the airport, and I go to check my bag and stuff like that, and I just bought a regular economy ticket, and I've always flown economy. And the lady goes, hey, do you want to upgrade to first class? And I was just like, what's that, and how much is it, So, like I said, it was my first time flying in a long time, so I was just like, I don't really know. I'm like, all right, I think it was like $90 or something like that to upgrade. And I was flying from Colorado to LA. So she was like, yeah, it was like $90 to upgrade. And I had the money, so I was like, you know what? Well, why not? Let's do it. She's like, all right, well, right this way. And I'm like, okay. So then she brings me to this whole lounge, and it was Delta. She brings me to this whole lounge or whatever, and they're giving me waters and snacks and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, cool, this is what's up. So the lady's like, you never flown first class before? I'm like, nah. She's like, all right, well, just follow me this way or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. So mind you, like, my standards of flying was economy, like everybody else. You find the cheapest ticket, you go online, find the cheapest ticket to get there, fastest route, cheapest way, and we'll take it, So I'm like, so this is all new to me. So I never had this special treatment. I'm getting escorted, I'm getting rides around the airport and stuff. I'm feeling good. I'm like, all right, let's go. This first little $90 extra. I wonder how far this goes, So whatever. I get there, I'm feeling good. The lady's like, yeah, you're gonna be the first one on the plane. You got the first seat, this, that, there's. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, let's go. Let's run it up. You know what I mean? So she's like, yeah, she puts me in the front, and everybody's looking at me too. Like, so I'm getting all this attention from people and stuff. So I get on the airplane, and I sit in the front, and I was like one of the first people on, so I was like, all right, this is cool. And I'm like sitting, like, I can see the pilot cockpit and all that stuff, so I'm like excited. I'm like, all right, this is what's up. So pretty much this guy sitting next to me, this older white gentleman, looked like a doctor or something like that. I think he was a doctor or something, but he was just like looking at me like, who are you? What are you doing here? What do you do for a living? So I told him, I'm like, listen, I'm going for this job at Coachella. They offered me, boost me up on first class, so I took it. You know what I mean? For a little spare change. He's like, oh, so this is your first time? I was like, yeah, it's my first time. He's like, oh man, hey, let me show you everything. So he's showing me the food tray, how it comes out the center, and we got the movies and the extra space and the reclining. He's showing me all this stuff, and I'm just like, damn. And he's gassed up too, so he's just like, yeah, man, freaking, I'm excited for you. He said, we about to have some salmon tonight. So I'm like, oh shit, I heard we're gonna have some salmon. So, he's like, yeah, you could order unlimited drinks too. Watch this. So he's like, orders us some mimosas and stuff. So we're just drinking, we're cheering, everything is good, So I'm flying on this airplane, boom, boom, boom. Best experience ever. I had salmon, Haagen-Dazs ice cream, got drunk for free, or I didn't pay for any of the alcohol or anything on that airplane. Watched a movie, sat next to this dude that was really cool, and it was just a great experience. So I was like, I didn't have to pay for anything extra but that $90, and I think my whole ticket was like $390. So I was like, this is great. Like, and that's when I realized, like, I increased my standard right there. I was like, from now on is first class only, because I saw all the extra stuff that all those other people had to go through. All those other people was getting on the airplane, and they was going all the way to the back. They was looking frustrated, wiped out. They looked like they went through a tidal wave or something back there. Something like the plane was just doing one of these for them. So I don't know. I just let them rock. But all in all, I raised my standard from that point on in my life. So from that point on, like, mind you, I haven't flown in a long time, so I was like, yo, I'm not flying nothing else but first class. Like, that's it. Like, I don't care what it costs, how much, where, who, what. That's what I'm doing. So people were like, what? And I flew first class for 3-4 years now. And people were like, yo, I've never flown first class ever before in my life. And I'm like, well, you should try it. It's the best, it's really cool, and it's not that much money. Like, people were thinking, like, I'm paying thousands and thousands of dollars for these flights. Like, don't get me wrong, some of them are thousands and thousands of dollars, but most of them, like, within the United States or short-term flights, they're cheap. They're, like, all under 500 and under. I think the most I've ever spent maybe is, like, $700, and that was, like, a last-minute, like, buy your ticket that day flight, and it's not that bad. You get free alcohol, they take all your luggage, everything was good. So that point on, I rose my standard, and I kept that standard. I just was like, yo, I'm not flying economy no more. Like, I'm not doing economy no more. So that's the 3 words I want to give you. Raise your standards. See, everybody in their life has a must, must do this and must do that. But you see, people have this should list, like, oh, I should be flying first class, or I should be making more money, or I should be doing this and should be doing that, right? But and people should have their should list met, but it's kind of like a New Year's resolution. You kind of know it's not gonna happen, but when you find your must and what's a must for you, like, I must fly first class. I must, because that's the only way to fly. When you find your must for you, and you find the way to make the way, so you find the way to make that must happen, and those standards happen, you will maintain that. You know what I mean? You will maintain that. And then, we live who we believe we are. You know what I mean? Because, like, I believed, like, I was just a regular citizen doing what regular people do. I believed that I belonged in economy. But when I had the opportunity to go to first class, and I took that opportunity, even though I might not have had that money, I might have just had it for that one time, I kept that standard there. I kept that I must fly first class. And then in order to keep that must, I had to develop a system for that standard and keep that standard. See, our physical body today is a reflection of not our goals and not our desires, but our standards. That's our physical reflection of today, you know? So find your identity and lock it in. You know what I mean? Find that standard and lock it in. Don't let this year be like last year and you do the same thing and fall victims to the same things. You know, discover what you're capable of doing. Discover what your standard is and keep that standard high. Keep it. So you already know, that was story time. It's your boy AB. That's all I got for you guys. 3 words, man. Raise your standards. Let's get it. 2020, here we go.